everybody. I'm Ginny Schuster. Thank you for joining us on Zoom In with Ginnypreneur. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Good morning, everybody. I am Ginny Schuster, and I am here today with Paul Vandeven. He is from Toronto, Canada, and I am absolutely fascinated with him because he started out in farming, which he's going to tell you about, and the entrepreneurship that he's gotten, the route he's taken from here is absolutely fascinating that I want him to share, and as well as sharing some of the fears that he had to overcome. Now, Paul is a lot of things besides coach, and we're going to focus on the small business entrepreneur journey. So welcome, Paul. Good to have you here today.
Good morning, Ginny. So yeah, it was great meeting you at the conference, and little did I know that our conversation would turn to doing this is the first podcast for me. So this will be fun.
This will be. And for me, it's the first going live. So you kind of pushed my button so that I'm going to keep learning. So being in Toronto, whereabouts was the farm that you're talking about that you were brought up on?
Yeah, so I'm actually in Brantford, Ontario. Our farm was just outside of London, Ontario, a little town called Mossley. And that's where I grew up and helped my parents on a hog and cash crop farm quite a number of years. That was my beginnings in learning how to run a business, because I was always involved with my mom and dad and in everything from the bookkeeping and paying the bills to actually doing the chores. So I got an early start in learning a good work ethic. That carried me through until I was attending agricultural college, and a 2-year program. I had developed knee problems and got my cartilage all removed from one knee at an early age and half in the other knee, and basically was told by doctors at the time that I should probably be looking at another career. I had to make a decision whether I was going to farm or whether I was going to go on from there. So because I kind of took a liking to financial matters as they related to agriculture, I launched a career took me through 40 years or so of agricultural finance. Ran a feed dealership, was in the insurance business where, we did farm estate planning and just, worked for a turkey producer, and turkey processor I've run the gamut. I worked for a credit union and a chartered bank for those two for probably a total of 20 years.
This is a lot of different things.
Yeah, but they were always everything was pretty much always agricultural based and agricultural related.
Yeah, so you were already, at age 20, you were already on the route of really knowing finance and understanding that stuff, and business as well.
Right. 2015 actually was the year that I found myself out of a job because the company I was working with at the time decided to move my position to Loveland, Colorado, no less. So at that time, I was already doing a few things from about 2014. I was looking for a side gig that's when I entered into the whole network marketing field and started to get my feet wet as a kind of a true entrepreneur, even though it was on a part-time basis.
Yeah, and a lot of people are scared about the idea of network marketing. When they think of that, they think of, oh my goodness, you're going to shove products down someone's throat, and they have a wall come up when you talk about, oh, I'm in network marketing and I absolutely love it. And was that your first feeling toward network marketing?
Yeah, pretty much. I knew nothing about network marketing or compensation plans and all that stuff. I mean, my financial background allowed me to, figure things out fairly quickly, as far as, how I would get paid. But I realized from day one that, it was up to me. It wasn't a matter, it wasn't, I couldn't just sit back and think that it was just going to come my way. And that's, in those early days and through my career, that's where, my good, strong work ethic, has served me well, because I know you don't get anything for nothing. And so I've always worked hard at whatever I do. And because it was a side gig and I just wanted to make a few extra dollars, and it was a good way to break into the industry and learn more about it. Over the years, I've been involved in a number of different network marketing companies, until I landed in the one that I'm in now, that I've been in for a little over 5.5 years now. So, and that particular network marketing company is Canadian, and it's close by here. It is in just out, in the Greater Toronto area, and they've only been in business for a little over 6 years. So I've been there almost from the start. So, but by that time, I'd had enough experience in other network marketing companies that, I knew how it worked. They're, they all are a little different, but they're all basically the same. Yeah. And it was a whole different ball game, building a team, finding those people that were, as passionate as I was, because really, I think that's the biggest thing that it takes is, the first thing is you got to be passionate about what you do. And, we always hear you got to be a product of the product. Well, it's true. I mean, if you're not using your own products, that's usually a red flag for people right there. So,
Right.
yeah, so that's how I worked my way through. And, there were lots of fears along the way, because I was doing fairly well in another network marketing company, and a few changes were made that didn't come off so well and didn't work so well. And I learned how long it can take you to build up a business that was headed in the right direction, to how quickly it can all come unraveled. And you end up sitting back scratching your head wondering what the heck happened. That about that time, that's when I found the current network marketing company that I'm with, that I distribute for. And you know what, I always say the good Lord takes you down the road you're supposed to go down, sometimes if you don't maybe realize it. But people you meet, and things that you find, to me, are never by accident. I had some, from, like I said, way back from my farming days, I had some health issues as a result of those early years, getting that cartilage removed and so on. So I started having some health issues. And, when I found this company, I found something that actually helped, was a solution to one of my problems that I'd had for, 20 plus years. And, you learn from hopefully you learn from your mistakes, and failures are only failures if they don't end up being lessons. And the lessons I learned along the way was that, number one, you need confidence. And the only way you're going to get confidence is if you love yourself, if you believe that, there's that belief, right? There's that belief that you can do, when you conquer something, you have to remember that, it's for me, it's like, people always tell you in the network marketing business, you need, consistency is so important, and it wasn't until the day that I realized that, moving forward and accomplishing, taking on challenges that you would never, ever have thought that, you would take on. Professional development has always been a big part for me. And, I started getting personal, coaches to help. I had to go through some traumas that I had to go, outside and get treatment, work through some of those issues and traumas from, my earlier life.
Well, let's move on to how we originally met online, Zoom.
Right.
And that was through the contact mapping meetings
Right.
that I would attend periodically, where you get training on how to build your business. And I feel that that's really an important step that you took, because you were consistent. Speaking of consistent, you were consistently there. And that is a phone app, just for our audience to understand. It's helps you with not only keeping track of your discussions that you have with people that you meet, it also helps you with setting a follow-up date. So
Yeah.
how did you find contact mapping and Adrian Chenault and that
It-
company?
yeah, so it again, through the years of trying to work network marketing, I mean, I tried all kinds of CRMs that just didn't seem to work for me. And in the end, contact mapping was more than a CRM. And that's why it works for me now. But, when I talked about, how sometimes, the Lord takes you on a path and has you meet people that you never ever thought you would. And after my job was gone at age 57, I kept looking for things to do and work to do, and I ended up in the film industry, and doing locations. And part of that was through the pandemic. And right around the beginning of the pandemic, a new app came on, which was Clubhouse.
Oh, okay.
And so I was working, for the most part, I was working nights. So, I was on at sometimes we were filming, sometimes I was just keeping an eye on things. And but there were 12-hour shifts all night. And when that app came open, I started finding, you name it, they had groups in there. And lo and behold, one night, I think it must have 1:30 in the morning, my time. And this guy named Tom Chenault shows up, and the rest is history. I got to know Tom, and the two of us kind of hit it off. And the next thing I knew, I was having a look at contact mapping. And we got talking. I think a day later or 2 days later, we connected on Instagram or whatever it was, and we started private chatting with each other and building that relationship. The contact mapping, it's an app, but it's a lot more than an app. It's a community. It's it's a group of people that really care about one another, and we're there to help support a lot of us during those times. And it's a way to remember people, right? And to
I
remember
love it. Yeah.
things.
I use it as well. I was going to say, if you're in network marketing, you basically are a leader. You're basically coaching everybody, and you're a mentor, because you find that everybody needs a mindset shift so that they can work through their own, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I all these things?
Right.
And I think a lot of people have to work through that and don't really realize it until it kind of hits them in the face when they're searching for what do they want out of life,
Right.
type thing.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's funny, but I mean, I turned 65 this year, and it took me 65 years to kind of figure out, to really get to know what my purpose in life is.
Yeah.
That realization on its own just opens so many doors for you. And
One thing's for sure, they say, is change.
that's
And
right.
when you look at your life, look at how you've gone from farming to finance to network marketing to coaching. So I just want to put it out to our viewers that network marketing is an amazing business to get into. It's got lots of benefits. And yes, it's not easy, but any business that you get into, any entrepreneurship is not going to be easy, but it's growing. It gets you to grow your mind, your mentality, your relationships. You're a leader, you're a mentor, you're a coach, just like Paul. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Paul, for going through your journey with us and telling about how great network marketing is and contact mapping and all the different things. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this chat.
Thank you.